Kevin Carmichael is an author, speaker, and YouTuber who Gary Vee called a content DJ that inspires people. He went from making $300 per month and being a shy introvert to having over 300 million people watching his YouTube videos. So today, let's learn how to stop complaining and take action. Mentor me, Evan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, stop complaining.
Your entire life changes when you decide to take responsibility for where you're at, for your happiness, for your success, for where you're at in life. When you decide that I am responsible, everything changes. We don't want to because it's easier to blame somebody else. It's easier to blame somebody else. We don't want to blame the person in the mirror. We don't want to blame ourselves. It's somebody else's fault, right? It's Nina's fault that I'm not happy. Where are you, Nina?
Blame yourself.
It's Nina's fault that I'm not happy, right? It's so good to put the blame on somebody else because that means I don't have to do anything. But when you take the personal responsibility, when I say it's my fault that I'm not happy, it's my fault that I'm not more successful. It's not my team's fault that my company's not blowing up as big as I wanted to. It's my fault. I need to get better. It's not my trainer's fault that I'm not getting results in the gym. It's my fault, right? I got to eat better. I got to work out more. It's my fault. It's your fault. You are where you are because of you. And when you accept that, then you choose to now live a life of being able to make progress. Most people don't want to do that. Most people would rather consume entertainment instead of education. Most people would rather consume entertainment and sit down and watch Netflix and forget about their crappy life than try to fix it. Most channels on YouTube that blow up are not education related, they're entertainment because people want to shut up their life, shut up their brain, and just be entertained instead of trying to actually fix the problem. If you're a subscriber here, you're probably on the education side, but are you the kind of person who's going to take responsibility and fix your life? Or just shut up the world, blame, complain, wait till you can't have that next vacation, you can't wait till that next weekend or the evenings are coming up because your life sucks. Your life sucks. Is it your fault or is it somebody else's? When you take ownership, that's when life starts to change.
Rule number 2, inoculate yourself against judgments.
The more you live your life based on what other people think of you, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Listen, you're an entrepreneur. You want to do crazy things. You have a bold, ambitious vision for what you want to accomplish in your life. You want to change the way something's done in an industry, right? That's what we want to do. We want to change the world. You know what? There's a lot of people who want to protect the world, the status quo. They want to protect the way things are done. You want to come in and shake up an industry? There's a lot of people who want to protect that industry. There's a lot of people who don't like change. There's a lot of people who are so afraid of seeing you be successful because it means that they suck, right? There's a lot of people who will, in your environment, in your family, in your home, your friends, people who they don't want to see you win because it means they suck, because you've left them. Because it means that they're not good anymore because they judge themselves based off of what everybody else is doing. And a lot of people have someone in their family who went off and crushed it and they tried it and then they failed, right? They tried it, they may have had some success and then they failed, and now nobody else around them is allowed to be successful. All they want to do is pull everybody else down. They took their shot, ultimately didn't work, and now they pull everybody else around them. You can't let that be you. The more you want to go off and have a bold, ambitious life for yourself, the more you're going to have to learn to what I call inoculate yourself against judgment. You need to inoculate yourself against judgment. The judgment of your friends, your parents, the people around you, the general public, social media. Inoculate yourself against judgment. As long as you care what other people think of you, you will lose. You will play small forever. You will not be living your version of your life. And so how do you do it? How do you inoculate yourself against judgment? Here's how it goes. Anytime you feel your heart beating, boom, 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 boom. Your heart's beating, you're nervous, you're scared, you're worried about what somebody's gonna think of you, you have to do the thing. You train yourself. Even if it's not an expression of you, even if you don't really care about doing that thing or not, you have to do it just to train yourself. Something like this would have been really difficult for me 10 years ago. Filming on the street was really hard. I'd be worried about what people think of me. I'd be worried about me standing here in San Francisco, people walking by, what they think of me. Yelling into my phone, yelling into this microphone here, talking to you guys right here. It's scary. And so because there's potential judgment, you get scared and then you don't do the thing. Teach yourself to do the thing. If filming in public sounds like a scary thing to you, like, oh, I couldn't do that, go do it. Go find the busiest street that you can find and then go make a video. And here's the thing, expect it to suck. You're not gonna be great the first time you do something, that's okay. Expect to suck, expect it to be the worst video you've ever made. And then pat yourself on the back and say, I did it.
Also, if you want to have more confidence and motivation, check out our 254 series. The link is in the description below.
If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it.
Successful people take responsibility for where they are in life.
Publishers do a little bit of work to help you. They try to line up a little bit of media and some of their contacts, but don't expect the publishers to do a lot. These days, it's really up to the author.
Rule number 3, endure hardships.
Being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. Whether you go all in financially or not, you're gonna go all in emotionally. And a lot of people, they can't cut it. They can't get the calluses fast enough, and so they quit. That's gonna be one of the biggest tests for you as you get off and build your business. Do you have the mental fortitude to keep going, keep driving, keep building your business in the face of all obstacles? It's the ultimate endurance test. It's the ultimate test to see what you're made of. When I first started my company, I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't think it would be this hard. You never think it's going to be as hard as it actually is. I was making $300 a month. I turned down $100,000 a year, 6 figures, working for my dream job company to make $300 a month and own 30% of a company. I eat beans for lunch every day. The same bean salad for lunch, mixed beans with olive oil and herbs and garlic and salt and a little pepper, because it was cheap and it would fill me up. And when I wanted to splurge, I would go to the store and get the chunky Campbell's soup clam chowder. It was a little bit more expensive, but also fill me up. When we went to celebrate a win, we would go to McDonald's and get a McDonald's French fries, large fries, and share it between the 3 of us because that's what we could afford. Couldn't afford the whole meal. And even to this day, the smell of McDonald's French fries means victory for me. It's the most unhealthy thing in the world, but it still means victory for me. I made it even harder on myself in that I isolated myself and I didn't tell my friends that I was struggling. I had to pick one thing a month that I could go to. One friendly, social pizza and beer kind of thing per month. Because that $20 I didn't have, because I'm only making $300 a month. So I isolated myself. I turned inwards. I was too embarrassed and ashamed to tell my friends who are off making $80,000, $100,000 a year, starting salary at a university, and I'm making $300 a month. I was too embarrassed and ashamed. And so I told them, I'm hustling, I'm living the entrepreneur life, I'm grinding, but really, I was struggling. I had no idea what I was doing. This thing was tearing me apart. And it got to the point where I actually quit on my business partner. I told him I quit. It's easy to quit on something and not get results when you know that you're not putting in the effort. But I was putting in the effort every single day, showing up to my business partner's dining room table because everything else was too small in his place to fit us. Putting in the effort every single day, trying to build and grow this business, and it wasn't working. I felt worthless as a human. Like, why are we not getting results? When will we start to get results? And I was fed up and tired, and I told him I quit. Like, I need to find a way to be useful, to feel valuable as a human. And so I told him I quit. And then I woke up the next day and said I can't quit because I haven't given it everything that I've got. And so there's a 2-step process that saved me, that I hope will save you if you're feeling down and out and it's tough and you're not getting results. The first step is use regret to fuel you. I imagine my life at 100, looking back on this moment, saying, would I regret quitting? It's very rarely the things that you do that you regret, it's the things that you don't do. So would I regret not continuing? Would I regret not giving it my all? And I try to adopt the mantra that I would rather know and fail than not know. I would rather know and fail than not know. So I had to see this through. Even if the answer was total failure, even if it never worked out, I had to see it all the way through just to know, because otherwise that regret would eat me up. And so number 1, use regret. When you're struggling, when it's not working out, when you're not getting results, imagine yourself being 100 years old looking back and saying, if you quit now, if you stop, if you don't keep going, will you regret it? Number 2 is model success. The next thing that saved me was I asked myself that next morning after I quit and then decided I need to go back because I can't live with regret. I asked myself, who has done this before? Who has built a software company up? I can't be the only person who's tried to do this.
And I looked at Bill Gates, who started Microsoft, and not how he makes an extra $1 million now, but 0 to 1. How did he do that? How did that happen? I studied his success. I modeled his success. I applied it to my company, and pretty shortly got my first deal for $13,500. That may not seem like a lot of money, but to me back then, it was hitting the lottery. I'm making $300 a month. Now I just made a deal for $13,500. That was hope. That was real. That was putting money in my bank account. That was being able to have a full meal at McDonald's. And more important, it gave me a model that I could do again and again and again. I closed another deal and another deal and another deal. And our business started to take off. And ever since, that was 20 years ago, I used the same two-step process.
And rule number 4, the last one before our very special bonus clip, is get used to rejection.
Rejection is part of life as an entrepreneur. You are going to get rejected over and over and over and over again. It's just part of being an entrepreneur and being in business. The first thing you put out won't be very good. People will hate on it. People will give some constructive criticism as well. People will say no because they don't know you, trust you, like you, and so you won't get those first deals. It takes a lot of time to build up a business and make it successful. And even when you've gotten to that point where you're feeling happy and you're bringing on a team and building the business, you're still going to get rejected constantly. It's just part of life as an entrepreneur. And so if you can't handle that, it's going to be a really hard road for you to be an entrepreneur. I think the way to get through rejection, there's 2 ways to do it. One is to use rejection as fuel. Kind of like what Jack Ma did. Like, I got rejected 10 times by Harvard. One day I'm going to go teach there, right? One day I'm going to go speak there. To use that as fuel, it's like, you turn me down, I'm going to show you. I'm going to beat it. I'm going to come back and be the teacher there, right? You turn me down for this deal, I'm going to go get a deal 10 times as big, right? So that's one. You can use rejection as fuel to help you go off and do something bigger and motivation to, I'm going to prove them wrong. The second way is just to forget about it. Just get used to it. That's more what I do. I don't really use rejection as fuel. It doesn't really bother me when somebody turns me down or when a new series doesn't work. I was trying to think when I was preparing for this video, what's a recent rejection that I have? Because there's been so many, but none really stick out as being super memorable. The one that I came up with was, I tried a new series on the weekend a while ago about the best of Kickstarter. And it was a new series that I was testing of showing different Kickstarter ideas that I thought might be helpful for you. And that video didn't do as well as I would have liked, didn't do as well as other videos, and we're probably gonna kill that series. But that's okay. Like, I've killed tons of series. It happens all the time on the channel, and I couldn't even tell you all the series that I've killed because they didn't perform. You guys rejected them. It's okay. I just moved past it. And so, either one, you have 2 strategies to go for. Use the rejection as fuel to say, I'm going to show you how wrong you are and prove it to them, or just forget about it, get used to it. It's going to happen. It's just part of the game, and you move on and just think about the next thing that you can go off and build. Use either one of those strategies, but don't get stuck in the rejection.
And now I got a very special bonus clip on always be positive that I think you're gonna enjoy. And if you made it this far in the video and you promise to take action from watching the video, give me a hashtag believe in the comment below. We want to celebrate you. Well, at least we do.
I love the idea of reframing a negative situation into a positive one. It can really serve you. It reminds me of what Tony Robbins said of, you look at the worst thing that's ever happened to your life and ask yourself, how can this worst thing ever be the best thing ever? How do you reframe it so that the most negative situation ever in your life becomes your biggest strength, becomes your mission, helps you follow something that then has a bigger impact? I really think that for people who get through a negative situation, it makes them a lot stronger just as a human being. And quite often the mission that we have in our lives, the things that we want to contribute and give back, is so that other people don't have to face the same consequences, the same suffering that we faced. So for me, I love helping entrepreneurs. I love it. It fuels me. It drives me. What's the big reason for it? Well, it's because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur that I want to make it easier for other people who are like me. And if you're looking for your mission, just go back to previous pain that you've dealt with and how you've gotten through it. Quite often what you want to do is then make it easier for people to not have to suffer through the same pain. Figure out what you stand for, figure out what your one word is, figure out what's at the core of you, figure out what your mission is. And then any negative situation that happens, you can reframe it to one that's empowering for you, the one that serves you, the ones that builds you up and can inspire others around you as well.
If you want to learn how to take action right now, check the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
The time is now. You wasted your chance. This is your moment. You didn't do it. Difficult, scary, hard are no longer acceptable reasons for you